Hello, YouTube. This is Uncle Barrett tuning with you today, just doing some more brain dumping. Today, I kind of want to talk about, um, I guess, the subject of maybe praying for others if you're into that. Not trying to be religious, but I know some people are they like to pray and not just for themselves, but for other people. And I kind of want to talk about a situation that I dealt with recently with a friend passing away. Um, this person was one of my ex girlfriends. And, she was like my kryptonite. If I'm Superman, she's definitely like my kryptonite. Um, I had nothing but love for her, but, things don't work out for whatever reason. But I remember when I was dating her in the beginning, especially in the beginning, one of my main desires, just as a believer in Christ, was I wanted to see her be saved. In my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm about to put a ring on you. But before I do all that, I really want you to know Christ like the way I know him. And in the beginning, it seemed like she was a little interested. And so that kind of kept me just down this loop with her for like, just years and years, probably like 15 years or so. But yeah, she recently passed away. And then I remember just, just I don't know the right words. I don't want to say sad, but I was just kind of like, okay, this is what it is, like And I guess all I could think about was just the many times that I, tried to pray for her and wanted her to have peace in her life and things like that. But the truth is, she was living a wild lifestyle. She, just couldn't really get off the drugs and she was really more fascinated, at least in my opinion, with the street life. I was trying to be the first dude to go save a hoe, is what I was trying to do back in the day. And so, um, but her passing away because she was young. You know, she was young, like in terms of gone too soon. You know what I mean? In my mind, I thought she would have lived to be 60, 70 years old. Maybe started out rough, but as you get older, you gain wisdom and then you have your kids and stuff, and she had three, and so um, it was just kind of weird, like hearing her pass the way she did, because all I could think about was just the prayers that I and the desire that I have in my heart for her to want her to know Christ. I hope that deep down somewhere in her life that she found Christ in some way, but who knows? All I know is that it took a toll on me wishing and focusing on something that it just took a lot of energy out of me because I really wanted it to work out that way. But the truth is, you can't make anybody do anything. If she wants to be for the streets, if she wants to be bad or whatever, then that's what she's going to be. And that's anybody. So I said all that to say because one of my friend's daughters asked me a question that just, from a timing standpoint, it was just kind of crazy because I dealt with this with my ex. And so this young lady asked me a question about, getting people saved and praying. And she really had, I guess she's dating this young man. She's still in high school and about to graduate. And so she's in that stage of life where, she's trying to figure out what she really, really wants. And apparently she's really into this guy that she's been seeing for a while. And, I'm all for people, making things work or whatnot. But she literally asked me, how can I get this young man saved? And basically, the way that she described it to me is that I really like him, and I want things to work out between me and him, but he doesn't really want anything to do with God or Christ like that. And man, like all I could think about was my ex. In terms of just how many times I prayed and wanted certain things to happen a certain way that never unfolded that way. But the reason why I'm making this video is because I think there's a lot of people that may be in this mindset that if you're religious in terms of following Christ, Yah, Yahuwah, Yahusha, then there's a thing called being unequally yoked. And where I got in trouble was I was trying to make somebody who didn't want anything to do with Christ be Christian or to at least be a believer. And so when I saw this young lady asking me a question about her boyfriend and how could she get him saved, in my mind, I just saw a younger version of me trying to help somebody out that you really care about. But the reality is that those kind of people will drag you down before you help them. In fact, they'll break your faith if you're not grounded in y'all with deep roots. They'll break you before you even know what happens, because that's how Satan works. You may be trying to get somebody saved, but Satan is also trying to get people unsaved or to um, not believe in Christ or to have a weak faith. And so it's definitely that type of a game when you're talking about from that standpoint. And so with her, I kind of just, I could tell she really liked this guy. And I don't know if because she's young, and I knew that she was a believer, or at least had a desire to know Christ. And all she wanted was for her boyfriend to understand Christ. And I get it. Like, the thing is, when a person has a real encounter with Yah and Yahusha and Yahweh, when they have that true encounter with him, however that may be, like, nobody can take that away from them. I mean, there could be a billion people that don't believe, but if you had a real encounter with Christ, like, nobody can take away whatever that encounter was from you. So for me, when I first had a real encounter and I understood that God was real, I wanted to tell everybody. I mean, not just the people that I loved. I just wanted to tell, like, everybody, because the way he put it to me, he said that hell was real pretty much. He didn't come at me like all lovey-dovey in terms of, oh, I just love you so much and you're the apple of my eye. He said the only thing you need to understand is that hell is real, you know? And so once I understood that, I at least tried to make a conscious decision to at least acknowledge him and to try to be on a certain path that would allow me to go to hell if that was possible. I just didn't want nothing to do with hell. And so, me not wanting anything to do with hell, I didn't want my friends or family or loved ones to experience that. I mean, can you imagine, I don't know, getting saved and then your best friends or whatever aren't saved? And in your mind, you may think like, man, I really love y'all, but sometimes I wonder if y'all going to make it or not, you know? So I get it. Like, when we love somebody or when we really care about people, genuinely, we want those people to be saved. But the truth is, that's not at least what the scriptures describe. And what I mean by that is, especially in the end times, it said that, father will be against the son, and the mother will be against the daughter, and the daughter-in-law against the mother. Like, so there's a divided household. Forget the friends and the loved ones. He's talking about family members being divided up over this issue, because the truth is, I may love my parents very much, but let's say they decided to follow Christ and I didn't. There's a divide in that situation. And so it's just called being unequally yoked. I'm a believer, you're not. I'm trying to make you be saved, but that's not how Christ does it. He says that if I be lifted up, I will draw all men to me. So I think the mistake that we tend to make is we tend to idolize those that we really love or have like a really big infatuation with, because they're beautiful, or they're care they have this a really crazy character that they show people that's like attracting to people. And I just think that that's a trap that Satan uses to distract people from keeping their eyes on God, if that's what they choose to follow. And so, um, like I said, it's been over 10 years, maybe somewhere between 10 to 15 years, as far as dealing with that ex in particular. I know a lot of people say, well, why don't you move on and do those type of things? My whole objective was to try to see her be saved. That's all I cared about. I mean, even if we weren't together, I wanted that girl to be saved. And I don't know if she did or not. I hope she did. But to go back to the young lady that asked me about her boyfriend, I could tell she was listening, but I could also tell that, she was like, well, I'm going to try this anyway, kind of a thing. Cause I think they're planning on maybe moving in together. And my mom shaking my head like, that's like not the move. Like, you know what I mean? Um, it's just not the move. You don't move in with somebody who you're unequally yoked with. It's very dangerous. It could be just full of drama, pretty much. But I will say this: it's okay to pray for people. I'm not saying don't pray for people, but what I will say is don't lose yourself in praying for those people. Don't stay up day and night wondering if they want to know God or not. That's gonna mess with your head, you know. And so I would say just pray for those people. Pray for them whenever you feel like you're being led to pray for them. But also understand that these people, whoever they are, they may not be your husband or wife. And if they aren't, it's still okay to pray for them, but don't try to mix both where you get yourself emotionally tied to someone who's not even your husband or wife. And before you know it, you're just weeping and crying and stressing out over someone that you're not even supposed to be with. And so Satan, he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And I think he gets to a lot of people through relationships because that's what a lot of people, especially when they're younger, they just want. I mean, it's a great feeling. All the butterflies, you just want someone to, especially when you know Christ, you want someone to know the same God that you know. And in your mind, you think that things will be just perfect after that. But the truth is, I mean, God Himself has given everybody on this earth free will. He's not going to make you love Him. And I'm okay with that because why would you want to make somebody love you? You know how hard that is. Like, I mean, if they don't love you, if they don't mess with you, like, there's no point in trying to make them do anything. You're just gonna make them mad and make yourself frustrated. So God's looking for genuine people that genuinely love Him. And so if you love Him and the people around you do not, He said, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. We don't have to do the same sacrifices that He did. We don't have to die on a physical cross like He did. But whatever that thing is in your heart that you feel like it's like number one in your heart, He wants that spot. I mean, it could be a car, it could be your favorite food, it could be your dog, it could be like whatever it is that you think you love more or have like a really big spot in your heart. He wants that spot because He wants to be number one. And so, you know, that was a crazy experience that I experienced with my ex. Um, I'm hoping and praying I never have to deal with that again. But I will say that um, if you do feel led to pray for somebody, by all means, go pray for them because, I mean, this world needs God, whether they want to admit it or not. They really do. And so, the more you pray um, on the belief that, hey, Lord, like, go see about this person or go see about their family or whatever, I think He'll do it if it's in His will. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean that He's not capable of. It's just there's other plans going on. We have to have the understanding that we're not in control. We may want things to go a certain way, but we are not in control of our destiny or other people's destiny. I know a lot of people say you're the captain of your own ship. No, you're not. You don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. Nobody does. You know what I mean? And so we got to humble ourselves and just realize that some people aren't going to be around us whenever we're taking these important steps as far as salvation. But anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I mean, if y'all dealt with someone or wasted time praying for someone, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had my prayers answered with other people. I'm just talking about this specific situation where I'm just in love with this person and I just want it to work so bad. and it just didn't. And so, have you had experiences like that? And if so, I mean, do you think it was worth it? I mean, or what do you guys think about prayer in general? I mean, I could be wrong. I just know in my situation, it didn't turn out the way. It was literally like a Forrest Gump situation. You know, he just chased after that girl for years, it seemed like. And by the time she, you know, finally seemed like she was kind of coming around, she's gone, you know? And so if I wasn't a believer, I would have been probably stuck in a season of depression like real easily. But I'm looking at this as an opportunity to just tell the truth on what happened to me, and hopefully this will help somebody else get through maybe a similar situation. Because I get it, love is a blessing, but it could also be like a curse if dealt with the wrong way. But anyway, just let me know what you guys think, and remember to stay prayed up and pray for yourselves and each other. And God bless y'all. Take it easy, y'all.